Hey, what's up everyone? Today we are looking at the Jakks specific Streets of Rage 3 Rue action figure. I was very hyped for this when this was revealed at San Diego Comic-Con. I love Streets of Rage. It's one of my favorite video game series of all time. And Rue is one of my favorite characters to use, so this is just amazing to see a fully articulated action figure of the character. So what's funny about the packaging is that it is pretty much the same as Axel. It uses the artwork from the second game instead of the third really. But overall, I mean the figure, in the packaging doesn't look too bad. And of course we got the accessory right there, which looks like an effect piece. They kind of call it explosion right there, but there's like Rue's name, Jakks specific logo down there, and then of course the Streets of Rage logo. And then the back just shows an image of the figure. It has 24 points of articulation, and there's like a sprite image right there, Rue, like a different color swap right there. Alright, so here's the figure out of the packaging right here. I gotta say, this one is really good. I think as of right now, because I didn't review the dragon yet from Altered Beast, I'm just gonna flat out and say this is probably the best one so far. This is a really nice looking figure, and just a nice overall figure of Rue from Streets of Rage. Now whether 3 or 4, whatever, obviously 3 since that's the debut, but this is a really nice looking Rue figure. I like what they did here for the head sculpt. I'm actually going to zoom in just a little bit here for the head sculpt, but the head sculpt, they did a nice job here. The way how the face structure is, they captured that perfectly. I think, like, in my opinion, it captures it well for the sprite and the artwork. This is a pretty nice looking head sculpt for Rue. And then, we have the collar around the neck right here, and then the chain back here, which you can move a little bit, and you can kind of move the collar just a bit, but I think it's actually like pegged into the back of the neck, or maybe like sculpted on right there. But overall, yeah, the head sculpt is really nice. You can see the details here. For the muscles, there's like a little bit of shading. The paint doesn't seem too bad either. There's like a little bit of texturing with the fur for Rue. And of course we got our boxing gloves right here, our red standard boxing gloves. Of course the boxing shorts right here. You can see how they're torn because of the tail, which is sculpted pretty well. The paint overall doesn't seem too bad. Even the bandages here that's sculpted around the legs, like that actually looks pretty good too. There is also peg holes at the bottom of the feet right here. But yeah, overall I am enjoying this Rue figure. And then the accessory is this effect piece, which you can just slide on to the boxing glove, and it does fit on there pretty well. So it has like that like effect piece when you hit somebody, really. But yeah, you have that, which I guess it's okay. But for the price point, I don't expect it to be any crazy. But you got that effect piece right there for the figure. Now for the articulation. The articulation is actually pretty nice on this guy. So for the head, it's just on a ball peg, and it does have better range compared to Axel. You see how I'm able to move it all the way around. So like Rue, kind of having him positioned because the tail kind of holds him up. But to have him look up, I'd say about there, but the ab crunch could help too. But to look down, it's pretty good right there. And then you have a little bit of tilts with the head. You can tilt just a little bit right there. But of course you have your rotation. The shoulders, you get a hinge out of the shoulders, which honestly goes high about there. I would say, yeah, just about here. It wants to go down a little bit, but that's actually not so bad. I really do like that. And then you have butterfly joints. They go far back pretty well. Like, that's how far back it goes. And then far forward, if you rotate the shoulders right there, so you can actually put the arm across the chest right there. So that's really nice. And of course we are double jointed with the elbows, right? And then there is a rotation to the wrist, and there is a hinge as well with the boxing glove. So we have that. I am happy to say that the diaphragm cut is actually good on this guy. Look at that. You got some rotation there. It doesn't go back as much, but forward and then moving the head, it's not so bad, especially the way how you position them and along with the hips. So yeah, not so bad, and there's a little bit of tilt. So yeah, it's okay. Rotation right there. The hips, they're actually just on a ball peg. I mean, you know, to kick high up, I mean, like this is this is literally what we're doing here. Rue can kick high like just about here, and then, you know, kicking all the way back. It is going to be out to the side though, the way how it's positioned, but I don't know, I think that's actually pretty good. And then, you know, you can put it out to the side too, which is nice. So yeah, that's really cool. And you know, we are double jointed with the knees, right? And that's like all the way, because I don't even think this is, no, I think I got this one fully closed too. But yeah, double jointed knees, nice range right there. You know, this is like the typical stance for Rue. And then for the ankles, they go far back about here all the way down, and then far forward about there. And the ankle rocker is also a lot better than Axel. Like the ankle rocker is actually pretty good. It's a little loose, but you have your ankle rocker there. And then for the tail, it's just on a hinge, on a ball hinge right there. So, you know, it can go down just about there, and then high about there, and then there's a rotation to the bottom of the tail as well. So yeah, that's the articulation for Rue. My only thing is that, and this isn't going to take anything away from the figure, because I think the figure overall is still nice, but my only thing is that I wish that the bottom of the tail was maybe like a ball hinge, or just a hinge in general, so that way you can position it to be straight, because sometimes Rue will have the tail to be straight to attack opponents. But it's not the biggest deal, it doesn't really matter. I do think overall, like, this is a nice Rue figure. Like the fact that I'm able to just pose this guy with some crazy crazy stuff that I want to do, right? Like this right here, like this is like awesome. Like, look at that. So yeah, it's a fun figure to pose, but it also looks great. I know this isn't something Rue would really do, but like it just shows like how articulated this figure truly is. So just a few things I forgot to point out here, but you can actually rotate the lower torso right here. So there is like a rotation. It does like slowly goes back in place, but you can, you know, rotate the lower part right there rather than the upper part. But it seems like it wants to go back in place, but it can still work. And there is a upper thigh cut for the leg, so you can rotate, you know, the leg right there, which I think, I don't remember if I shown that off, but you can rotate at the upper thigh. Now for a comparison, here is Rue next to the Axel figure that Jakks also made, and you can see that Rue is of course going to be shorter than Axel, and that's just because the way how Rue is positioned with the knees all the way bent right here. So you know, of course it's going to be a lot shorter, but you know, if you extend the legs, it will definitely tower over the Axel figure. But overall, this is really cool seeing these two next to each other. I would honestly really like if they did like just a standard Streets of Rage line, honestly, just to try to get all the characters really. You know, knowing how long it takes for Storm to do their figures, you know, like years really. Nothing against that, I understand that, but like you know, just having a full Streets of Rage collection would be amazing. And honestly, if you bought another Axel figure, you could probably like paint the pants black and then the shirt yellow to give him that look from 3. So you could probably end up doing that too. But yeah, it's nice to have these two next to each other. I really do like that. Here is one last comparison. So here is the Storm Collectibles Axel figure, and I know this is like a completely different scale, but I thought I would still throw this in since Rue is, you know, technically a whole different character in Streets of Rage, so it's not like another same character. But it still can work since, you know, Rue is also in 4. But because the figure is way too small, it just doesn't look right. Even if I extend the legs, which will probably be the best option, it's gonna look weird because you don't usually see Rue doing this. But even if I want to make Rue even taller, like this is the best you can do. But now the tail can't really support him. But yeah, even then, you know, Axel's still too tall. But yeah, I thought I would just show this off if you were curious on how that was gonna work right there. Okay, so final thoughts on the Jakks specific Streets of Rage Rue figure. This is definitely going to be one of my favorite figures that they've put out. It has a really great sculpt, paint job seems fairly good on this, articulation is incredible, especially for it just being 10 bucks. Definitely a huge improvement over the Axel and like the werewolf figure, for example. Although I didn't have a lot of problems with the werewolf figure, I actually still do like that one, and I'm really curious on how the dragon is going to be in the Altered Beast series. But this Rue figure is really good. I really really like this figure a lot. If you really like the Streets of Rage series, I highly recommend picking this one up. It is currently available at Walmart since these figures usually tend to be like a Walmart exclusive. But let me know what are your thoughts on this in the comments down below. As always, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review. Until then, take care, my friends.